Don't try to sneak into your room like that. I know what you've got behind your back. Records. More new records.
This is your statement arm that you've worked on for 3 months?
12 years. Okay. Yeah, it's 3 months, yeah.
Okay, I'm being funny. And so it's a gimbal bearing in the vertical direction?
And
horizontal.
Yep.
And then this...
Well, I'll go through the whole
yes,
spiel.
Yes, please, because you know better than I do. Yes.
Well, somebody does.
Okay.
Okay. When you're ready.
I'm ready. We're rolling.
Okay. I mean, the strap line is basically the record cutter in reverse.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So, and that's serious because you start off with this lump of metal that doesn't move, and it just moves across, and the cutter goes up and down and left and right. That's
right.
it.
That's right.
And we puts down the music, and then we try to unravel it. And I don't think anyone has ever done that. You'll find out why I say that at the end.
Okay, because right now I'm slightly skeptical because there are arms that...
So we start off with the first thing you need is an arm with no resonance.
Right.
Resonance means movement.
That's right.
And
Absolutely.
you can hear it.
Yep.
So you've got one or two very fine arms that are superb in that regard.
Yes.
One's $28,000 and so on and so forth. And I have no beef with that.
That's the one I own, but now it's up to over 30.
Sorry?
It's up to 30. That's the one I own.
Oh, right. Okay. So there you've got the bending modes of an arm. This is laser sintered ceramic. It's not. I've had chemists come here at the show and gone, you're joking. They would not like making that. Thank you for saying that. You're right. They don't like making because it's going to be thin-walled because ceramic is so dense.
Yes.
But this is its performance. It does not move.
Okay.
It's absolutely rigid at the frequencies we're interested in. Right. What we have is you've got two forms of resonance. You've got one in the low frequency,
right,
which takes a lot of dealing with. If you get the resonance higher and higher up in frequency, then it's easy to damp out.
Right.
So you're breaking up all the movement into minuscule microscopic levels.
Right.
So that's the idea. This is 4 orders of magnitude stiffer because of the ceramic and the f-dot cross put together, which is why this goes off at about 4K, 6K, something like that. It's way up high. Okay, so we've now got an arm that is as well behaved as any other arm on the market. So that puts it up with them straight away. Fine. But we then have the other thing with the record cutter. It's got no tracking error. And there are 3 ways of dealing with tracking error. Parallel trackers, multiple beams, or a radial one, rotating at the top. I have a problem with tangential trackers in that unless they're actively driven, laser controlled to follow the groove, it's the stylus that does the work.
There's lots of problems with those. I go over them all the time. And most of them are actually describing little mini arcs. Well, of course,
that's all it does.
They're moving forward, and they're moving up, and they're moving down, and
exactly.
It looks good from the outside, but on the microscopic level, where it's really happening, it's worse than a well-designed pivot arm, in my opinion.
I totally agree with you.
We agree on something. Okay.
No reason why.
Okay.
So the other problem with that is the inertia of the counterweight of the arm at the back on the because it's on an air bearing.
Right.
So the cantilever having moved over and given you distortion straight away, it then drags the arm, but because it's on an air bearing, it's like the puck on one of these tables, game tables. Once you get it moving, it just keeps going.
That's right.
With a high inertia, it then continues moving, pushing the cantilever twice the angle off, and then the poor cantilever has to do the work to pull it back again.
Right.
As you say, so it is shimmying, but it's shimmying worse than ever you thought.
It's the tail wagging the door.
Bingo.
Right.
So that's not good. So that's out the way. My problem with multiple arms is that they'll take 4 bearings, and then you've got those beams have got their own resonances, and you're going to get more of that effect. So they're out the window. And at 24K, I can design anything I want.
Okay.
The world, it's a clean sheet, so I'm not trying to stab anyone. It's just I'm looking at a design. What shall I go with that one? Could I go with that one? I ended up with this system. You only have 1 bearing point, and it's a mathematically defined. This isn't unique to me. It's a mathematically defined curve. It is pure zero tracking error to within a very close approximation, because you will have a degree of elasticity in the system somewhere.
Right.
But it's microscopic, so I'm happy as a designer with that.
Okay.
Rather than 100. There's no 100% on the planet for anything.
Of course.
So now we've got this beam that is, we've got a good beam there, and we've got zero tracking. That really puts it as a really, really good arm. So it should sound perfect.
Right. Now, what is this material here?
That's nylon.
Nylon.
At the moment, for this particular one, it'll probably end up as Kapton or a Kevlar.
Yeah.
Okay, this is purely because this is.
Could a clumsy person break it?
If they break that, they'll be breaking the cantilever.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, my problem with the show was the patent. My patent attorney died, dropping me in it. How inconsiderate of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
So I then had to disable the arm,
Right.
so that it shows cosmetically what it looked like, but can't work.
I see.
So that I can't give anything away. Yeah, you're wrong.
I got you.
Okay, so where are we? Actually, on this particular disc here, so we've agreed that we've got this rotating thing. It's mathematically defined. It's 0.
Right.
So a friend of mine comes and said, well, the components can't cost much to make. He said, I said, what, you mean that thing, for example? He said, yeah, that's easy to make. I said, so you'd like a lump of aluminium that big sitting on top of your cartridge, would you? Oh, I never thought of that. I said, that's not solid. That's metal-coated foam. So it's a thin metal skin. So you've got...
Wow. How do you coat foam?
Proprietary. Okay. So we've got that. So you've now got this ceramic tube that they don't like making. You've got that. You've got the seal bearing there. We then listened to it, and it still wasn't right. So
how do you install a cartridge on that head chip, or is that?
We'll get onto that bit by bit. Okay. So we're listening to it, and it's still not the master tape. Now the master tape has got two qualities. It's very relaxed, easy flowing, and then you've got the transient, and then it's a relaxed, and then the transient.
Right.
So there's a degree of compression or something that's going on. So either the records are bad,
right,
or the cartridges are bad, or another effect, or something else,
or the system. Okay.
And that's what it was. We have something else. That's where the third element, no feedback, comes in. We've got no tracking error, no resonance, no feedback, and you'll then have perfect replays I can see. So what's feedback? What you've got is energy from the outside. If that's a perfect tube, energy will go straight away. Brilliant. But then so will energy come back into the system. Now we come into the problem. Every object, every free body has got 6 degrees of freedom. Forwards, backwards, left and right, up and down.
Right.
And 3 degrees of yaw, of rotation, yaw pitch. So we now have to deal with that, because a record cutter is only 2 degrees of freedom.
Right.
It goes up and down, left and right, and that's it.
That's great.
And a cartridge doesn't do that, so we need to isolate it. And the isolators we have are all 6 degree of freedom isolators. So they're all completely wrong. They all allow microscopic movements, one way or the other, tilting, everything. Solving that was the pain. And having done it, that is a gimbal. And that's one of the races that's used in it.
Wow. Where is that?
That's at the moment.
You don't say where it is.
Okay. But it gives you the idea of the degree of precision that's needed with a bearing. That's the smallest bearing available, laboratory standard, and it's a nightmare obviously to work with, because a bearing, a ball race works within a groove.
Right.
And the smaller the ball race, the smaller the angle of arc that the ball can rotate in.
Right.
So you've got to have something with extreme precision to get those working as a gimbal. Otherwise the thing just seize up, you've wasted your effort.
Well, of course.
Okay, so now that we've got that, we then come on to your question of the alternative one, how difficult is it to set up, or how do you change the cartridge? Through that hole, undo a screw, the assembly, the black and the grey, the whole, you see a little channel there?
Yep. Oh yeah.
The whole thing comes forward, comes out, and you mount the cartridge in that space there.
And there were holes, screw holes, and
yes.
then the overhang is set.
And there's a tiny little hole at the front.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that then, you put a little Allen key in and you just wind it forward, and the stars just has to meet one single point, job done. And then you just lock it.
Okay.
So that's it. Now, that is where the business end of the isolator comes in. These two talk to each other. You don't get anything for nothing, so you can't do that as a totally rigid system. You then have to dump and damp the action of the cartridge, because the mechanical energy, where's it going to go?
Right.
The only way you can get rid of it is by damping it out of existence.
Right.
So there's a damper built into that as well. Okay. So, overall, there will be only 100 of these made.
Okay, there are 2 elements we haven't talked about. Can you adjust the azimuth on this arm?
You will be able to. Not on this particular one, because that's been taken care of.
And
you've got dynamic VTA.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now I feel better. Okay.
Okay. You know what, with all the azimuths I do on the other arms, of course,
I know.
have all those
but sometimes people say, well, I couldn't do that. It's worth it for everything else I could do.
No,
but you're not going to say
this is, as a statement arm, it's a reference arm that does everything that we're aware of. 24,000. For that, two things happen. One, limited to 100 pieces, built and signed by me.
Right.
But more significantly than that, every single arm, you tell me what cartridge you are using, or send me the cartridge, the system will then be optimized.
If you change cartridges a lot, obviously that's not.
You keep buying new little assemblies and
I see.
The system is set up for that cartridge. The idea is all you hear is the cartridge and not the arm ever.
Got you. Okay, what is this made out of? This is stainless steel?
That's stainless steel, yes.
Okay, I think we have a good amount of detail. I think people will really enjoy hearing that description. I want to listen to it. When do we do that?